Okay, so just a quick review on this GWM, things that I've done so far. On the turbo, where I've basically set the settings on the VGT right, to the right percentage. With the pipes that I've done, it just eliminates more lag. Okay, so your boost pipes don't have to expand till where they cannot expand anymore, and then only you will reach your desired boost pressure. But now with this more solid pipes, it's basically immediately there, no expansion needed. The vehicle is definitely light on fuel, that's for sure. I'm barely touching the accelerator when I'm driving. Look, you can put your foot down and for it to go, but you need to remember the way a VGT works. Okay, the quicker you can get it to boost up and then flatten out, stay at that boost level. If you like, just gonna keep it like that, the better. Okay, so it means you got torque all the way. Okay, theologically now you're going to change the gears, and electronic will control the VGT. Except that this thing is driving like very powerful now. Let me just get into the bucket here because it's so windy. Okay, so the way the VGT is working now is way better. It isn't set up right. Okay, you cannot rely just on electronics. A person that wants to rely on just electronics, this is not an electric car. It's not like a BYD Shark or something like that. It's not an electric vehicle. It's got electronics to control mechanical things, but if the mechanical things are not set up right, the electronics can only do what they programmed to do. Okay, so there's one thing that you will hear on the GWM. If let's say you get a little bit of an uphill and you put your foot down and you let go, you hear a choo-choo-choo. That is bad news for a VGT. That is a sort of, it's actually a bad sound. Whether it's VGT or normal, it's not, you don't want to hear a choo-choo-choo. It sounds good, but it's blowing, it's compressed air passing the compressor blade. Bad. Okay, it's slowing it down like crazy. Not a good. And then on VGT it's even worse. But the reason it's doing it on this bucket because the turbo is not set up right. Okay, now do not try this at home. Don't think you're gonna ask mechanic Google or mechanic YouTube to help you with this. Do not try this. You take it to specialists who understand VGT turbos, qualified technicians that do understand how this works. A VGT is a totally different kind of turbo. Okay, it's not a normal turbo that you got an internal wastegate that just opens and closes. Okay, this is totally different. Totally different. Do not try this at home. You can blow your motor, you can harm your motor, you can harm the turbo and the motor. So don't try this. Somebody that's qualified to do this with a electronic diagnostic tool, see what the VGT percentage is. Okay, so I'm not going to go into more depth with that, but yeah, don't try this at all. This is not, it sounds easy to do because I make it sound easy, but it isn't. Okay, so I'm setting it to where it's supposed to be, the mechanical side, and then there's a small other thing that I also do just to make life so much easier for the turbo and for the VGT. And then when you drive it, then it's all your EGTs stay low, which you want. Now after I've set this up, then the only thing that you can still do after that, South Africa is getting like very hot, you can put a bigger intercooler to cool the air down a lot more. On diesel, that's always a plus point. EGR, okay, that will recycle hot air. Okay, not hot over fueled air into the cylinder, only hot air. Okay, it's still 120 kilowatts, but the way it delivers 120 kilowatts is insane. Okay, the torque is still the same. I didn't push up the boost at all. Everything is still the same. It's just the way it responds now and delivering the torque and the kilowatts is totally different. That says proof now. So when I drive this one, when you pull off, you can put your foot down. Remember, because it's electronic controlled, okay, it's not gonna like a normal aspirator just pick up and go like crazy. Okay, it's not gonna do that. No bakkie gonna do that. That's like electronic controlled like this. But it's 100 times better than it was. Okay, so now it's like pretty much equal to a Toyota or a diesel Raptor or something like that. It's pretty much the reaction is pretty much the same as all of them now. It's just the way the power gets delivered now with the turbo. It's much quicker up, and it stays there. It stays there the whole time. The power's there the whole time. You just hear the gears changing, but the power's just there. It feels like it's not dipping anymore on the power. It's just there all the time. So cruise control. Let's say I am normal. Everybody knows on normal on the highway, these things, it doesn't keep the speed. Now it keeps it. I don't use sport anymore. I don't need to, because it's got way than enough power. So because the turbo starts so quickly, I'm getting now power from down low. So when I'm on the highway and I cruise, let's say 110, sometimes 115, I just on normal and I set my cruise control and it stays there. No hassles at all. So it's a huge difference. It's a really huge difference. So now this bakkie makes sense. Now finally call this thing a beast. Increase the air cooler, and then you want to do tuning. Yes. Then you can make some mental crazy amounts of power. You can, and you will, and it will be delivered very quickly. Okay. But for what I've done here, the turbo set up right, the boost pipes, that's all I did. Okay, so it's pretty much standard. It's just my reaction that I'm getting from what I have is 100 times better. You won't believe it when you drive this bakkie. It's like a totally different bakkie. The thing is now it became a pleasure to drive.